What's up, I'm Asteria, and there's some shit we really need to talk about. So recently there's been a lot of hate going along Kaskobi's way, and there is one clear reason. It's because Kaskobi has been kind of meddling in the Launchpad community and making it worse with every single step. At least that's how you can take it from, like, a view apart from all this shit. But the thing is that it is kind of true, actually, because Kaskobi has promoted a lot of stuff that isn't the best practice when it comes to instruments, but I'll get to that later. So let me start first by saying that when I got into the community, what I got was a really nice, friendly community, a place where you could share your music and show what you do, you know. Because I first saw Launchpad on the YouTube recommendations, actually. Just the same way many people find out about stuff, about making music, about making, like, programs for computers, about making art, generally, everything. You can find everything on YouTube these days, but the thing is, you can find higher and lower quality videos of it, and what I got in my recommended list was the best video that could introduce me to the Launchpad community, and it was M4 Sonic's Weapon, which was one of the nicest mashups I've ever seen in my whole life, actually. The whole aesthetic of it, and just the way it was made, it was really amazing and amusing, to me at least. I think it was a great mashup. But then, what now people get is they see Kaskobi and they think it's all about the visuals, but let's get to that later, okay? So then I went like, actually, I want to make my own projects. I want to contribute to the community that has given me so much. So I made my own projects. I got into production, like music production, but that happened later. And I made some Launchpad tutorials actually for people who are less fluent in technology and screwing around with Ableton and stuff. So now let me get to what happened to the community. So first it was, as I already said and mentioned, it was bashing Slice to MIDI. Like, every single elitist would go like, oh, take that shit away from me, when they saw Slice to MIDI. But now it's kind of encouraged, I guess, because the response under the video that Matt made about the whole Kaskobi fiasco, as I like to call it in my head, because it sounds so posh and useless. There was a few people saying, oh, I pick drums too, and it's not that bad, actually. And this is exactly why I think the Launchpad community is going to shit. People first bashing Slice to MIDI and then doing it, like the whole hypocriticalness, is that even a word, of the Launchpad community is physically hurting me sometimes, like seriously. But let me get straight to the point. We first bashed Slice to MIDI, but now we encourage it. I mean, by saying we, I mean the Launchpad community, although I am trying to stay far away from that, like push it away, far away from my channel. But I still get identified with it because, well, Launchpad, right? So yeah, the community first bashed Slice to MIDI and then did it. That's stupid, but that's kind of what happened, because of Kaskobi's fame, they see Kaskobi in recommendations, not the actual good shit, like the elitist people like Nev, fucking M4 Sonic, or Sean Wasabi, although he tries not to get identified with the Launchpad community either, even though he's kind of like a controllerist, but he still gets identified with it a lot. So how did Kaskobi end up in your recommendations? Well, because that was at the time when the Launchpad community was already going downwards, like where all the channels split up to the low quality Slice to MIDI shit and the elitist stuff like fucking Request, the Viper Active, yeah, the obvious Nev and M4 Sonic, right? M4 Sonic is, Nev is kind of like between, but let's leave that to another subject. Obviously, the elitist channel were like, I don't remember how many he said, I think it was 7 or 6, but then you have the Slice to MIDI channels, and there's like much more of that, and people are not bashing Slice to MIDI that much, so it's not kind of like getting eliminated. So then you have these, and Kaskobi was here, and he wasn't here. He wasn't even included in anyone's heads in here. He was here, clearly in here. Like, he was when the painting a Launchpad was a cool thing, which I think is useless, but that's not important. He was the first of the people who got the MK2, and what did the people want to see when the MK2 came out? Well, that's not a very hard guess. The MK2! So, they looked it up, and the first thing that came up was his Nev Spectrum cover, like the project file that he did. And people say that it was sick. Yeah, the project file is sick, indeed. I really like it. And older Kaskobi videos for his level then were not that bad, but they were considerably mediocre, I guess. They still are, apart from the visuals. The thing is that people saw it, and as you know, when a lot of people view a video, it just skyrockets, goes up high, and this is exactly what happened here. After his Spectrum video, he blew up, he blew the fuck up, and he got the Launchpad Pro too, so people wanted to see that too, so they want on his channel, and what they see, the Launchpad Pro. But with a Slice to MIDI bad cover, obviously, because he was the Alan Walker of launchpads, because Alan Walker has absolutely no skill. He just blew up because of Fade, and now he, like, if you've seen his Future Music interview, he just goes like, oh yeah, this is synth, it's so great and makes everything, it sounds so crisp. It's because he has never seen the project of the song. And with Kaskobi he makes his shit, but it's still really mediocre. So, before I get into the details on why I think that he is not the best person on earth playing launchpads, let me start by saying this. I may be taken as a one-sided, or a person that has been taken to the dark side, because I am friends with one of the launchpadders that has started this whole drama, as I could say, but thing is, many people will agree with me. Like, I wanted to make this video for a really long time, but what can one nerdy kid change when there's going to be a wave of such videos? At least I hope there is going to be soon. So let's just join the revolution, I guess. So let's start by saying why I think he is not the best launchpadder on earth. So, as I already mentioned, Slice to MIDI, this is obvious. He does it all the time. I mean, he did and does. Because, for example, his Circles video was the upgraded Slice to MIDI, as I call it, like, taking the drums and that's all, just phase inverting them and, like, putting them in the samples. But his We Are Number One project file, as Matt mentioned, was, well, utter crap. It just doesn't have place, where he is taken by many 11 and 12-year-olds, which are the youngest, like, generation that has ever gotten to the Launchpad game. They are looking at him like at an authority, and he shouldn't be taken as one. Like, Nev and all the other elitist channels I mentioned should be taken as authorities, not him. As I already mentioned with the We Are Number One project file, it's Slice to MIDI, multi-sampling, and fake drums, so this is the golden triangle of the whole launchpadding shit. Thing with it is, it's not uncommon that it happens, and it's not actually weird now. It's just accepted. Is that fake drums are actually accepted, and that is bad. It means that this community is going to really, like, downwards, like, really bad. And we either fix that, or let the community just burn, waste away, and leave it with all the bullshit and stuff. So, when you're a social outcast and get famous with 600k subs, at least I'm saying this is what I predicted that happened. That may have not happened at all. I'm just wildly guessing that, like, nobody finds about that shit, like, randomly. Like, I did find out about randomly-ish, but I did really went in deep. At least that's what some could say. I was personally not the most sociable person of all, and most of the Launchpad community is like nerds and stuff, so I bet that it's like kinda, might that have happened? It might, but I just don't know for sure, but it might have. So, when you're a social outcast and get 600,000 people following you, that's a really big change, and you get, like, so bossy and bratty, you get so self-assured that you are an asshole to everybody around you. And that is exactly what happened over here. Any argument that is against him is not taken by him seriously, which is, like, kind of funny, because he says, like, how great he is. He pretends that he's like a huge person when he's just a kid sitting in front of a computer, pressing buttons on his keyboard and breathing really fast while typing sarcastic comments about people who say bad shit about him. And you know what's with those popular people, it's that they kind of try to make you feel good that you're their friend. They like kind of reward you that you're their friend, so they get a bunch of followers who are fucking crazy about them. They would jump into a river and die for them if they promised them something. You know, with these famous-ish people, like people that get freshly baked famous, it's that they kind of try to reward you for being their follower friend, so they get a lot of crazy followers that will follow them no matter what they say, and this is exactly what happened here. People are protecting him when all their arguments are kind of invalid and sound actually stupid and defeat the purpose. Okay, so let's get to the thing that is his worst offense in my opinion. He makes bad shit popular. And this is the worst thing that you could possibly do. This is what has happened to the music production community, and this is what is happening to the Launchpad community right now. They're making bad stuff, the stuff that is badly done, sliced MIDI, fake drums, overlaid, samples even, in the video editing software. They're making it popular. Like, for example, if I got famous like Kaskobi, I would probably work on my skill and make my project files go up and up and up in quality. And he kind of tries to keep it on the same mediocre stage as he started at, because it's easier and it makes it kind of look more credible to the masses, because when people play hard project files, they're usually prone to get called fake or bad or crap, stuff like this. And sometimes it is true that it is fake or bad or crap, but not usually actually. And he keeps it at this mediocre level, and what he does is he makes these contests where he kind of like makes bad shit even more popular. So he makes these small contests, like the light contests, where he gives away his lights. And it makes no sense at all, because he is making even bigger masses who treat him as authority. Yes, those 12-year-olds with $300 controllers are treating him as an authority in launchpadding, when he absolutely shouldn't be treated as one. Jesus, those hand gestures are great. Thing is, he makes these light competitions and people make sliced MIDI shit just to get his attention, to get all these sweet likes and lights. Makes no sense to me, because this makes the elitists have a little bit of YouTube space and the sliced MIDI shit even bigger. Like, it takes up 80% by now. But the most annoying thing is that by sharing some project files that he has shared, he has a shout-out thing where he shows stuff that he finds cool and nice to the masses, but what he shouted out was a project file that was essentially fake, and overlaid. By overlaid I mean when you have the video editing software that you just put the original song under and hope that nobody will notice and you get away with it. Thing is that he shared a project file, and we have actual proof to show that it is fake, like overlaid. We have the SFK file, which is Sony Vegas cache file, which makes it even, like, it defies the purpose of a contest and shout-out. A contest is to show something that is the best, not to something that is the most similar to what you make. That makes absolutely no sense. It shouldn't be called a contest. It should be called... I don't even have an idea for that. It's so, like, stupid and hypocritical to me. But now, let's get into the thing that annoys me the most. And what most people that do Launchpad fail to understand. The Launchpad is not, absolutely not, a controller right now. It is, like, meant, the Launchpad Pro actually, is meant to be an instrument. So, people complaining about velocity sensitivity while buying a controller that is described in adverts as velocity sensitive sounds like people buying laptops and complaining they're too fast. At least to me that is, because I try to treat my Launchpad as an instrument, at least when I make music, because when I'm making a live show, it is obvious. I do not want the velocity control, but people complaining about it, even in note mode, makes it sound so absurd to me. It's just plainly stupid. Let's be honest over here, it's stupid. You're buying a $300 controller just to play lights. It makes no sense to me, and if you're not using it for production or other stuff, it's just get a Launchpad Mini, come on. Like, all these Launchpad Pros could be given to people who don't have money for gear, in my opinion at least. So, let's get to my last point. What can we do? We can either start bashing sliced MIDI, like, really start bashing it, like, going with swords and katanas, if you're a weeaboo, at people and screaming that sliced MIDI is bad. Real bad. Or we can do nothing and just stop identifying with the Launchpad community as a whole and just go, yeah, I make music on a weird button thing. Like I do. I don't say I use a Launchpad, I say I use a button thing, because I just don't want to be identified with this shitty community. I am really open for a debate. Like, if you have something to tell me, just say it down in the comments, I will reply, and I will tell you what I think about it. But right now, this is my stance about this whole situation right now, and I just want to openly say that screw you, Kaskobi, and I hope you get some publicity as a shitty Launchpad for this. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.